From Recorded Future News and PRX, this is Click Here. So I have a burning question I want to start with.
Sure.
How long did it take you to grow your beard?
So I've been growing my beard now for about 17 years.
Okay. And how long would you say it is? Is it 3 feet long?
It's close on to 3 feet. It will touch my sort of like belt buckle area now, yeah. It's that long, yeah.
From Recorded Future News and PRX, I'm Dina Temple-Raston, and this is Click Here's Mic Drop, an extended cut of our favorite interview of the week. Today, we're talking to Stuart Clark, an IT professional with a knack for cutting through the noise, and a warning about the hidden environmental cost of our digital lives.
If the internet were a country, it would be the 4th largest polluter on Earth. So that's going to be behind China, behind the US, behind India. And unlike those countries, the internet, its growth really goes unchecked.
But there's good news, too. Stuart says there's a way out of this, a fix, and it comes from a place you'd never expect. That's after the break. Stay with us.
Looking for more of the cybersecurity and intelligence coverage you get on Click Here? Then check out our sister publication, The Record, from Recorded Future News. You'll get breaking cyber news from reporters in New York, Washington, London, and Kyiv, among others. And you'll see for yourself why it attracts hundreds of thousands of page views every month. Just go to therecord.media.
I'm Dina Temple-Raston, and this is Click Here's Mic Drop. For the last decade and a half, Stuart Clark has been helping build the digital world we all live in. His dad worked construction, and Stuart figured he'd follow in his footsteps. But instead of a hammer, he picked up shears. He became a hairdresser.
My hands were far too soft and gentle to be working on building sites. My wife says my hands are so soft they're like veal. So yeah,
that's a compliment.
It is a compliment. Yeah, they are they're very soft.
Stuart worked in salons for almost 20 years, but by 2008, they'd kind of lost their shine.
I thought, what's next on the list? And so I got into IT, and I was very fortunate, and my career really took off.
He taught himself to code, landed jobs with Cisco, Amazon, Spotify. And along the way, he noticed something. As the internet mushroomed in size, its energy consumption exploded too. Because of how it was built, or rather, not built.
The internet is really built on sort of like chicken wire and held together in such a manner. The internet was never designed to do what it's doing today.
And the internet isn't just computers anymore.
We used to have this thing where it was just computers that run the internet, and now your car is, now your television set is, even your toaster is, your fridge is. You know, I'm in a house and I'm sort of like trying to think now that I've probably got 20 devices connected onto my Wi-Fi, just in my home.
And with every smart device piling on more energy demand, all of it invisible to the end user.
The digital world, for us, we don't see that. The digital world feels somewhat cleaner, if not weightless.
So Stuart started crunching the numbers, trying to make it concrete. He found that every Google search puts out a little bit of carbon dioxide, up to 0.2 grams. And video streaming?
Every TikTok video that you watch would burn enough coal to power a light bulb for 10 minutes.
And that's just a single video.
Their carbon footprint is actually bigger than Greece.
Every swipe, every click, all adding up fast. Then he turned to data centers, these massive buildings filled with computer servers.
Every data center, around the world has very, very sophisticated monitoring in place, and you can watch your energy usage of those servers go up.
The numbers told the same story everywhere. Up, up, up. But here's the thing. The companies don't share that data. Not really. What we do know is this. The internet's appetite for electricity is on track to double by 2026. Just 4 years ago, it was half that. And all that power, it doesn't just vanish. It morphs into carbon, pumping into the atmosphere. So one digital sustainability company, Greenly, tried to do what the tech giants wouldn't, put a number on it, just to measure how much damage a single year online can do.
If you're a user on Instagram, their average is 32.52, and YouTube is 40.17 kilograms.
That's about the same as driving a gas-powered car 100 miles. And when you multiply that by billions of users, the number becomes staggering.
The way that I imagine this is that, every video that we've watched, every online purchase that you make, for me, what I see behind people as they're kind of walking along is like a little bit of an invisible toxic cloud just following them around.
Do you think most people, they're just tapping away on their phones and their laptops, have any sense of the energy that their devices are chewing through?
No, I don't. I really don't think that they do. When you talk about this to people, they think, that you're talking about sort of maybe a dystopian sci-fi scene. But it really, really isn't. This is the dark side of our digital obsession.
And lately, that toxic cloud's been getting darker. And the reason? The AI arms race.
Well, if your electric bill has gone up lately, you are not alone. And it may not just be the summer heat that's causing things to rise. Artificial intelligence data centers are predicted to drive demand to record highs in the coming years.
Google announced its emissions are actually up nearly 50% since 2019. One factor, artificial intelligence.
The tech giants, all of them want to be, the supreme lead for artificial intelligence and artificial intelligence dominance. And so they have to keep expanding data centers.
They're scrambling for dominance first and asking climate questions later. And that, Stuart says, is a recipe for disaster. But he thinks there's a way to fix it. And that's when we come back. Stay with us.
At Radiolab, we love nothing more than nerding out about science, neuroscience, chemistry.
But we do also like to get into other kinds of stories. Stories about policing or
politics,
country music,
hockey,
sex, of bugs.
Regardless of whether we're looking at science or not science, we bring a rigorous curiosity to get you the answers.
And hopefully make you see the world anew.
Radiolab, adventures on the edge of what we think we know.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
The AI arms race wasn't just driving Stuart crazy. It was keeping him up at night. Everywhere he looked, news headlines, academic papers, whispers in the industry, the story was the same. More data, more energy, more emissions, and almost no hard numbers.
I've wanted to look and actually get the data, but some of this data is just incredibly hard to actually find. Mm-hmm. The GPT data has been the subject of sort of several academic and independent studies, but some of the official figures have not been disclosed.
So there's this stat that's been floating around, that every chat GPT query uses 10 times the energy of a Google search. You've heard that one, right?
I have, yeah.
Is it true?
It is true to a point, but there's also a thing about the timing of when you do that as well.
The lack of transparency gnawed at him.
The industry isn't as transparent as it needs to be.
And that secrecy? It's nothing new.
I've been to many data centers. They're built in the most possible indiscreet way. Many years ago, Google's data centers weren't even on any maps. One of Google's data centers was called Lord Voldemort because it was like he who shall not be named.
Voldemort.
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 We do not speak his name.
And you could just drive past it. You wouldn't know what goes on in them. I've been to data centers which have got moats in front of them and they've actually got armed guards around them. They have better security than most airports do. It's really, really incredible. Data really is the new oil.
And while the tech giants talk about offsetting their emissions, promising to buy clean energy or plant trees, Stuart doesn't buy it.
A lot of people would say that there's a shell game going on because a lot of the companies are claiming to offset emissions by purchasing renewable energy. But what they are doing is they're buying up a limited supply of green energy. And then that leaves the rest of us to still rely on fossil fuels.
Though he doesn't think that's the right fix, Stuart does have an idea for what might be. He calls it sustainable software. So you talk about something called sustainable software, which I'd never really heard of before. What does that actually mean?
How this started for me is that I was reviewing some code that I was working on, and then one day I just found this bug.
A mistake in his code, what developers call an N+1 query. Instead of asking a database for everything it needed in a single trip, the code was sending hundreds of little requests, one after another.
It's like instead of asking like a database for 500 pieces of information just in one trip, what my code was doing was making 501 separate trips. This is like going to the library to get a 500-page book. But instead of checking out this entire book, the whole book, you're checking out one page.
At a
you're
time.
Walking home, you're reading it, and then you're walking back. You check out page 2 500 times.
Most users never notice, but in a data center, that single mistake made servers run hot, forcing cooling systems to work overtime and spiking energy demand.
So I actually did the math on this as well. Just this one single line of code was responsible for generating what I estimated to be 2.3 tons of CO2 emissions per year.
Wow.
So that in equivalency is like burning around 450 kilograms of carbon just because of one lazy algorithm.
That's like burning nearly 1,000 pounds of coal for one bug. So Stuart fixed it.
So the N+1 query, the fix was to reduce the server load by 99%.
A 99% reduction with just that simple fix. Suddenly, servers ran cooler, consumed less power, and the carbon footprint shrank dramatically.
It's about choosing the right programming language, choosing the right data structures, and designing a system which uses the absolute minimum energy required to do the job.
And that's the twist. AI, the very technology driving up emissions, might also hold the key to cutting them down.
I know I've painted AI as this nasty sort of enemy in this, but AI does have its positives. Artificial intelligence has been used to optimize energy levels in data centers. Artificial intelligence is used to build sustainable software.
With the right instructions, AI can actually write cleaner, more efficient code.
I'm using AI to write my code. I can actually write within there to say, use the most sustainable way possible to use as less CPUs. We can just put that in there and AI will say, yeah, I can do that for you. I can do that.
Some companies are already putting the idea into practice.
There's a company who's been able to cool their data centers by 40% by using AI to do that. That's like the equivalent of taking 1 million cars off the road.
And that's the paradox of the digital age. The tools that created this crisis could also help solve it, if the companies building them are willing to do the hard work of making efficiency as much a priority as innovation.
Artificial intelligence necessarily isn't bad. We just have to choose our path here and how to do this in a way that's both healthy for us as humans and then healthy for us as a planet.
Because, as Stuart likes to say, the internet isn't weightless. Every search, every stream, every line of code leaves a trace. And if we pay attention, those traces don't just point to the problem, they point to the way out of it. From Recorded Future News, this has been Click Here's Mic Drop. It was written and produced by Megan Dietrich, Sean Powers, Erica Gaida, Zach Hirsch, Lucas Riley, and me, Dina Temple-Reston. It was edited by Karen Duffin. We'll be back on Tuesday with an all-new episode of Click Here. Have a great weekend.
Looking for more of the cybersecurity and intelligence coverage you get on Click Here? Then check out our sister publication, The Record, from Recorded Future News. You'll get breaking cyber news from reporters in New York, Washington, London, and Kiev, among others. And you'll see for yourself why it attracts hundreds of thousands of page views every month. Just go to therecord.media.